Guys, let's fix your business. On the board behind me are 5 common marketing mistakes I see a lot of real estate professionals make that put them out of business all the time. Sometimes even worse, they go through bankruptcy. I made these mistakes when I started out. I went 65 grand debt. I fixed these, profitable. I've looked at a lot of businesses that were making these mistakes on the board behind me that we're gonna go through. I fixed them for them, profitable. This is what I want for you guys as well. Now, these first 3 right here, I'm gonna break down 3 different ways that you can look at running your marketing campaigns. The reason why people fail in business a lot of times is one of 2 things. Number 1, they can't generate a lead. If you have no lead for houses to buy, you can't buy a house and make money. If you have no leads as a real estate agent, you can't list a house or represent a buyer, so how are you gonna make money? So number 1, they don't know how to generate leads. Number 2, they do, but they spend too much money to generate those leads. Maybe they're spending $100,000 a month doing hundreds of deals, but by the time they get these deals in and do the deals, they're not bringing in enough money to overcome the cost of marketing to bring the deals in. Very common. Can't generate leads, or they spend too much and they can't turn a profit with the leads that they're generating. So this first part right here is very important to understand, especially if you're a new investor. The first type of lead that individuals are trying to generate is a capital intensive strategy, meaning it takes money. Think about what a lot of you did when you jumped into real estate. You probably did direct mail. And the reason why you did direct mail was because some fake guru sold you a course for 500 bucks, said this is what I do, even though they didn't, and then they tricked you into doing what they did, and since they didn't do it effectively and efficiently, now you're doing what they did, which is fail in the business. So direct mail is a capital intensive strategy that is very risky for new entrepreneurs, guys. Unless you have a marketing budget that you are okay with losing, I would highly recommend that you do not do direct mail or build a big cold calling center or do anything like running radio ads or running billboards or doing mass bandit signs, even though you can try bandit signs. We'll talk about why and how to do these correctly here in a second with certain strategies when they're capital intensive. But when you're starting out, do not just go spend a bunch of money because you see other people doing it. You're assuming they're being successful and you don't know how much trial and error they went through to get to where they got to, I guess you could say. So what you need to understand is not just capital intensive, but there are time intensive strategies to generate leads. This is what you need to focus on when you're starting your business. Time intensive strategies would be networking. Some of y'all see my earlier videos. The very first deal I did, I spent a ton of money, almost went through bankruptcy trying capital strategies, and I went to a networking event, and I started going to networking events. I built a big buyers list for free on the internet, just like I teach you guys on this channel. Go watch my other videos on how to build a buyers list. I started finding people that had deals that they did not build a buyers list and connecting them to buyers. That's really how I started my business. Now, referral marketing is very powerful. You can pick up the phone and call these individuals and ask for referrals, all sorts of different individuals in your marketplace. Title companies, mortgage brokers, probate attorneys, any type of attorney, divorce attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys. This is time intensive, not capital intensive. One of the best time intensive strategies that I think people should be doing is door knocking. Most people have done this, I've done this, it works, I promise you. If you have the work ethic and self-determination to get up every day and take that self-esteem bruise, which happens when you door knock, and just go door to door, guys, I promise you, I don't know anybody that legitimately has done this that hasn't had success and got a few deals or was able to pick up a few deals when they started their business. If you strap up those boots and go door to door to door to door, every single door, eventually someone will sell you their house. Guaranteed. I don't know anybody that has not worked for that really put time behind doing this. In fact, I have agents, real estate agents in my team that do this and they make a very good living, multiple 6 figures a year, some of them. I know one, I think, closed 40 deals this year, door knocking. He bought houses for his investment business. He got lots of listings and represented some buyers with his sales business. And he's also an insurance agent and picked up extra income streams that way as well. Now here's a little golden nugget you're not gonna hear anywhere else. Where should you be door knocking? If I was to do this right now, I'd figure out where in my marketplace they're building some new high-rise apartments or some big apartments right across from a subdivision that wasn't there before. So what happens in areas like this? For example, this is happening right around the corner in my neighborhood. A lot of people are upset. They're building a very big apartment complex that overlooks the neighborhood just over a couple neighborhoods over from me. A lot of people fought this at the city, and since they lost, and this is going up anyways, what do you think they're gonna do? They don't want this big apartment complex overlooking their neighborhood. Think about that. Probably you never heard something like that before, guys. That's why you come to this channel. If you like that quick little tip nugget, subscribe or like the channel, subscribe to. Now, Door knocking is a great way. Now, what I did was social media marketing. I ran out of money, but I had time, and I taught myself internet marketing, how to build websites, how to do YouTube, how to do Facebook marketing, guys. So there's strategies out there that take time and no money. Now, here's the last one. We're not going to touch too deep on it, but this would be money plus time. Those are the worst, and I don't recommend these, but some of you guys are doing strategies that cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. I highly recommend adjusting your strategy and focusing on something else. Okay, first off, that's what you need to understand. Some are capital intensive, some are time intensive, some take time and money. I would recommend that you're using time strategies in the beginning until you start making money. Then you use capital strategies to buy back your time. That's how you need to think of your business. Now, this right here is a very big reason entrepreneurs fail when they start out in real estate. They bring a business plan to me that looks like this and not the way it should look like this. Now, what is this? Now, a dog cannot chase two cars at once is a saying or common saying, something like that, right? What it means is these are all different strategies. So I have people bring me their business plan. They say, Connor, I'm gonna put out 50 band signs. I'm gonna do 50 cold calls. I'm gonna knock 50 doors. I'm gonna put a radio out there. I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. And they give me 20 different things that they're gonna do. And that's 20 different things they're gonna do poorly. And they're gonna get frustrated. They're gonna spend a lot of money and time and quit the business. You do not need to be doing this many strategies, guys. Everything you hear about that people say they do in real estate works. You just need to work hard to get good at that strategy and be efficient at it. And here's how this should look. You should try 1 or 2, maybe 3 core strategies, with one strategy being your main focus, and you should do it over and over and over through repetition until you get efficient at it. Once you do, and you create one successful strategy, figure out how to systematize it. Whatever it is, it does not matter what this is, guys. This could be any strategy. They all work, I promise you. Figure out which one you're best at, which one you like to do, get good at it, figure out how to produce some income, then systematize it. If you're cold calling for sale by owners, expireds, or whatever, and it's a phone strategy, get good at what you're doing, create the scripts around it, and systematize it and outsource it to virtual assistants. You can figure out a strategy that works, systematize it, go to the next one, systematize it, and every 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9 months, however many months it takes, eventually you'll have all these different systems in place and different strategies cranking together. But if you're trying to do them all at once when you start your business, you will never figure out all of them at once. You have to go one by one by one. You're doing too many things at one time, so you're gonna fail, I promise you. So target it down over here, okay? Now this is a big one right here. I highly recommend, if you're doing this right now, guys, stop and listen to what I'm telling you. One of the biggest reasons I've seen entrepreneurs fail in real estate is they spend all their money on marketing strategies, and then when the leads come in, they can't convert those leads. Because before they're spending, you should always, right here, practice. Now, what do I mean? Here's a good case study with my own personal business. I jumped in, I did a capital intensive strategy, I did direct mail, and I dropped like $20,000. And I remember I was borrowing money on credit cards to do this, and I spent $10,000 on a marketing campaign. I was like, I'm gonna send out this many marketing pieces. If I get 1% return and I get this many leads, all I have to do is get one deal, and it's gonna pay for all this marketing plus some. And if I get 2 deals, and then if I get 3 deals, I'm gonna make this much. And I went down that thought process I know some of you guys are doing right now. Don't do this. What happened was I spent $10,000 on a campaign, barely got any calls to come in. And then when they did come in, the deals that I would have been able to capitalize on now, I wasn't able to monetize because I had no practice communicating with a homeowner, because I didn't know how to do what I was doing. I didn't know how to do it correctly. So when I get the calls to come in, I get on the phone and I start talking and fumbling over my words, and I get so frustrated and I'd embarrass myself. One time I remember actually hanging up the phone in mid-conversation, just being like, stupid, 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 because I was so stupid in the words I was saying. You need to be comfortable talking to homeowners, because it doesn't matter if you generate a lead if you can't convert that lead and monetize that lead. So to kind of go back to time-intensive strategies, go talk to a lot of people. Get on the phone and call a bunch of for sale by owners. Think of this as a practice activity, but you're also trying to get the property. You're also actually trying to be successful. You don't have to be live. I mean, you should be live in the game, but practicing while you do it. And then once you've talked to hundreds, probably I would say at least 100 individuals, now you should have the communication process down. You should understand the questions that they're asking you. You should have this back and forth down, so that then when you do go out there and start spending money on leads, you don't waste money and you don't go out of business, because you can capitalize them and actually get the contract. So practice before you spend a lot of money. This one right here, what does this look like? This looks like a scope, right? Think of like a sniper scope. This, oops, sorry about that. This looks like a shotgun spray. This is a big reason why entrepreneurs fail. If right now you wake up and you're watching this and you're feeling this stress, you drive down the highway and you see houses all over the place, neighborhoods all over the place, and you're overwhelmed because there's so many markets or so many different micro markets within inside your major market, and you're terrified because you don't know where to spend your money marketing. It's because you're trying to shotgun the entire marketplace. I see this as a big mistake a lot of people make. You need to target down, pick 2-3 subdivisions tops that you really know, maybe have 1,000 houses or 2,000 houses that meet what you're trying to do. If you're trying to flip higher end properties, target the properties that you want to flip. But most of you guys are trying to target rental properties or cash flow properties, but you're doing shotgun marketing campaigns across these neighborhoods where the price point could be $500,000, $400,000. And even if you get the lead coming in, it's a wasted money and time spent because it's not going to cash flow if you try to buy it in the first place. Figure out what your desired goal is with what you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to wholesale, flip, buy cash flow properties? Are you trying to get listings? Now, if you're trying to get listings as an agent, sure, market $500,000 houses. But if you're trying to buy cash flow properties, don't just shoot and spray. Target down, figure out a desired area that you've looked at the tax rates, you looked at the rent rates, you know the cash flow well for what you're trying to do. They're in the right age range of what you're trying to buy, and then target these aggressively and consistently over and over and over. Let those neighborhoods learn your branding. This is what the best luxury teams do. They pick a couple target zones, a couple neighborhoods, and it's pounding over and over and over. Monthly, they're getting door knockers and door hangers, mailers, they're getting October bonuses. If you list with us this month, we're going to take 1% off. All sorts of different things that people are doing, but it's a wave after wave after wave of marketing in a targeted area, and they're not shotgun approaching everything, guys. As you get more marketing, you get more money and make more money, you can spread it out, but still target specific lists and target very high converting lists if you're going to do that. Now, this is the big one that I want to leave you with, guys. Test first, right? Test first, then scale. One of the reasons why most people fail is they think they know what they're doing, but they don't because they've never done it, or they haven't done it enough to really know if this is what they should be doing. And they just blast a big marketing campaign out there because someone told them it works. They went out there and mailed a high equity absentee owner list because they heard it works at a seminar and they dropped 10 grand on it. Guys, you need to test things on a small scale, and then when it works, scale it and scale it quickly and aggressively. Test small, see if it's returning anything, and then scale it on a high level as fast as you can. And if you feel that it's not going to work, put the brakes on quickly and back off and try it on a smaller scale. Once you know if something's working, scale it then. Don't just go throw a bunch of money and a bunch of time. A lot of you guys are creating these big campaigns and you don't even know if it's going to work. Try it on a small level. If it works, then scale it. Now, this is the last thing I want to touch on before we close this video up. I want to talk about R versus P, revenue versus profit. Okay? It does not matter how many deals you do and how much revenue you bring in if there's no profit. Now, it's interesting how many people don't understand the difference between revenue and profit. I learned that over the past couple of years as I've been building my EXP team. There's a lot of brokerages out there, including one of the biggest ones in the world, that do profit sharing. And when I talk to agents from those companies, they're like, well, my broker says, we're just like you guys, we do profit sharing. And I'm like, well, we do revenue sharing. And they're like, well, profit's the same thing as revenue, essentially. My broker said so. And I'm like, can you say that again real quick? I think I misheard you. My broker said that profit sharing and revenue sharing are the same thing. I'm like, can you say that one more time? And they're like, I'm like, no, it's not. The dictionary says different. There's two different definitions for a reason. Revenue is before expenses, profit is after expenses. Guys, you need a spread between revenue and expenses, or what's your revenue coming in minus expenses, to have a positive spread between that to create a profit. Some of you guys are spending way too much money on your marketing expenses to create a profit. So let's say you're spending $1 million, right? But you're only bringing in 800,000. You're doing a lot of deals. This is where you see these companies do 100 deals a year, but then go out of business. It happens all the time in certain markets. In fact, there is a company I know that was doing 400 deals a year, but they weren't making a profit. Huge revenue, lots of employees, lots of expenses, lots of overhead. So you need to think about this, guys. Think about how much you're spending to bring in, because if you're spending too much, you need to adjust your strategy. So just a quick recap. Probably use time-intensive strategies in the beginning, transition to capital intensive. I would probably stay away always from time and capital intensive because there's always a better strategy. Figure out what works best for you, systematize it, move on. Next system. Always practice what you're doing before you implement it on a high capital intensive strategy. Down here, target more of a sniper instead of a shotgun approach. Test first, scale, and understand revenue versus profit, guys. It doesn't matter how many deals you do and how much money you bring in unless it relates to expenses the right way to leave a profit. I hope you liked today's video, guys. Pound that thumbs up. Hit that little notification bell when you hit the subscribe button on top. And I appreciate you coming to the channel. I'll see you when I see you. You guys have a great day.